Every story's got a spark, and every spark's got a name. This is the journey of finding mine. Who am I when the lights go low? Who am I when the world says no? Searching through my past, trying to free my soul. One truth at a time, letting every story unfold. Who am I? Yeah, I'm more than the pain, more than the pride. Who am I? Who am I? Walking in purpose, no mask, no disguise. This is my voice, my rise, my life. Welcome to Who Am I?
Hello everyone, welcome to the Who Am I podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Hopgood, with another episode of our 10 minutes to refocus, your midweek motivational series, where today we will be talking about what are you carrying? What are you carrying? Letting go of weights that was never yours. This is your midweek reset. So let's be honest for a second. Has this week stressed you thin? Have you been pushing through things without processing them? Midweek can sneak up on you. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or just off, that doesn't mean you're weak. It means you need a reset. And that's exactly what this space is for. So by now, the week has settled in. The emails have stacked up. The conversations have happened. The responsibilities have multiplied. And sometimes midweek fatigue isn't from the work itself. It's from the weight, emotional weight, expectational weight, relational weight, unspoken pressures, unresolved tensions. You can feel it in your shoulders, in your patience, and even in your moods. See, today isn't about pushing harder. Today is about lightening the load, because some of what you're carrying was never yours to begin with. We've got so used to carrying weight that we don't even question it anymore. We call it responsibility, we call it loyalty, we call it being strong. But strength isn't measured by how much you can carry. It's measured by what you have the wisdom to release. See, I like that. Let me say that again. See, strength isn't measured by how much you can carry. It's measured by what you have the wisdom to release. See, somewhere along the way, you picked up things that were never assigned to you. Expectations you didn't create, emotions you didn't cause, standards you didn't even choose. And you've been carrying them like they're mandatory. So before we go any further, let's ask the real question. What are you carrying right now that was never yours to hold? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the weight we adopt. And here's the truth. Here's the truth that most people won't ever admit. You've been carrying things you never consciously agreed to carry. Not because you signed up for them, not because they were assigned to you, but because somewhere along the way they were handed to you and you never put them down. See, other people's expectation about who you should become, unspoken standards about how your life should look by now, subtle pressure to perform, achieve, respond, and show up in ways that make everyone else comfortable. And then there are the invisible ones. Someone's frustration that had nothing to do with you but landed on you. Someone's insecurity that tried to shrink you. Someone's disappointment that quietly became your burden. And because you're capable, because you're reliable, because you built an identity around being the strong one, you absorbed it. You didn't argue. You didn't push back. You simply adjusted. You internalized things that were never yours to internalize. You carry conversations in your head long after they ended. You replayed moments trying to fix perceptions. You overextended yourself trying to prevent misunderstanding. And slowly, the weight accumulated, not all at once, but piece by piece. And here's the dangerous part. When you carry something long enough, it starts to feel normal. You mistake pressure for purpose. You confuse overextension with dedication. You interpret emotional strain as responsibility. But let's draw a clear line here. Strength without boundaries doesn't make you noble, it makes you depleted. Kindness without clarity doesn't make you loving, it makes you overcommitted. Responsibility without discernment doesn't make you mature, it makes you vulnerable to burnout. See, there's a difference between being supportive and being consumed. See, some of you are exhausted not because life is chaotic, but because you are managing weight that was never assigned to your name. Wow. You are managing perceptions, managing emotions, managing comfort, managing expectations, and it's heavy, not because you're weak, but because it was never designed for you to carry. And the heaviest realization, you didn't even notice when you picked it up. It happened subtly. A comment here, a look there, a moment you overanalyzed, a role you stepped into. And now you're walking around wondering why you feel drained when the real issue isn't your capacity, it's your inventory. You've been carrying what isn't yours, and it's time to take a closer look at what you're holding. Let's talk about the silent agreements. See, weight usually comes from silent agreements. You silently agree to keep everyone comfortable. You silently agree to be the peacemaker. You silently agree to never disappoint anyone. You silently agree to overextend yourself. And now midweek hits and you feel stretched thin. But see, alignment requires honesty. You cannot stay aligned if you're overcommitted to everyone else's comfort. So let's slow this down just for a moment. Not rush past this, not intellectualize it, not brush it off, but slow it down. Because the weight you've been carrying didn't appear overnight, and it won't disappear without intention. So ask yourself, honestly, what am I carrying right now that belongs to someone else? Is it someone's disappointment that you turned into self-doubt? Is it someone's expectation that has quietly become your standard? Is it someone's insecurity that caused you to shrink your confidence? Is it someone else's silence that you interpreted as rejection? Is it someone's frustration that you absorbed as personal failure? Look closely, because sometimes what feels like your burden is simply something you adopted. Where did you say yes when your spirit was whispering no? Was it that conversation where you agreed just to keep the peace? Was it when you committed to something that stretched you thin? Was it when you accepted a label that didn't fully represent who you are? And where are you overcompensating just to avoid discomfort? Are you explaining yourself too much, working harder than necessary, trying to prove something that doesn't need proving? Discomfort is not danger. But sometimes we carry extra weight just to avoid the temporary tension of saying, no, that's not mine. No, that doesn't align itself with my beliefs or what I'm capable of or my capacity. No, I won't carry that. Sit with that for a moment, not to judge yourself, not to feel guilty, but to see clearly, because clarity creates choice, and awareness is the beginning of release. You cannot put something down until you acknowledge you're holding it. But once you see it, you regain control, you regain capacity, you regain peace, and that's where freedom starts. Think about it. So, what we have to do is we have to reframe our responsibilities. See, you are not responsible for everyone's emotional reactions. You are not responsible for making everyone understand you. You are not responsible for shrinking to keep others secure. You are responsible for your own alignment. See, alignment means your decisions reflect your values. Alignment means your energy matches your priorities. And alignment means you stop betraying yourself for approval. Let me say this clearly. You can be compassionate without being consumed. You can be loving without losing yourself. And you can be supportive without sacrificing your peace. See, freedom begins when you recognize what isn't yours and having the courage to put it down. See, putting weight down requires courage because sometimes the weight has been with you so long it feels normal. Sometimes the weight is tied to identity. You're the reliable one, the strong one. You're the fixer. But being strong does not mean being overloaded. Being dependable does not mean being drained. And being loving does not mean being depleted. You are allowed to step back. You are allowed to redefine your capacity. You are allowed to release what is not assigned to you. And when you do, you don't become selfish. You become sustainable. So here's where your midweek shifts. You have to put it down, not the dream, not the discipline, not the growth. Put down the unnecessary weight, put down the pressure to please everyone, put down the expectations to solve everything, put down the fear of disappointing people. You were not built to carry everyone. You were built to carry purpose, and purpose requires energy. Midweek does not get to drain you because you overextended yourself. You are reclaiming your strength. You are reclaiming your clarity. You are reclaiming your capacity. You move lighter from here. You move clearer from here. You move stronger from here because you are no longer carrying what was never yours to carry. So say this with me with intention. I release what is not mine. I release unrealistic expectations. I release emotional weight that does not belong to me. I choose clarity over chaos. I choose alignment over approval. I choose peace over pressure. My strength has boundaries. My kindness has limits. My energy is valuable. I protect my capacity. I honor my limits. I move forward lighter. I am not responsible for everyone. I am responsible for my alignment, and I move forward free. So before we move forward, I want you to pause for just a moment. Take a breath. Wherever you are, whatever you're carrying, this next part is for you. Let's speak life over ourselves out loud if you can, because what we say in this moment has the power to shift how we walk into the rest of our day. Let's begin with our affirmation. I am not defined by my past or limited by my mistakes. I am growing, learning, and becoming who I was created to be. I have values beyond titles, roles, and expectations. I choose honesty over fear and growth over comfort. I am allowed to change, heal, and evolve. I walk with purpose, clarity, and courage. I am becoming more aligned with my true self every day. And who I am is enough. So as we close today's episode, I want to thank you for taking this time for yourself. If something you heard inspired you, challenged you, or made you pause and reflect, please don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with someone who may need it. Invite them into the conversation. See, this podcast grows when we grow together. I cannot do this without you. And we grow together through shared stories, honest reflections, and real connections. See, every listen, every share, every conversation helps create a community rooted in purpose, rooted in love, rooted in faith, rooted in trust and truth. Until next time, pause, reset, continue, keep reflecting, keep becoming, and remember, you matter. This is the Who Am I podcast with your 10 minutes to refocus, and let's walk this journey together.
Who am I? Yeah, I'm more than the pain, more than the pride. Who am I? Who am I? Walking in purpose, no mask, no disguise. This is my voice, my rise, my life. Welcome to Who Am I?